was a little sweaty today.
I definitely, it's hard. You leave the house in the morning, it's 40 degrees, and then by
Right.
noon it's 75.
I have a hoodie in my car for the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, I have a hoodie and 2 fleeces because they keep getting left in my car because by the end of the day I don't need them anymore.
Right, and then you forget to bring them in or
Right.
whatever. Right.
I just got the little notification that we're live on Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate.
All right.
Don't forget that we also stream to YouTube at Porchcast Pottstown. I see people starting to jump on and join
Yeah.
us at Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate. And like I was just saying, don't forget to join us also YouTube, Porchcast Pottstown.
Yep.
Still looking for those 100 subscribers.
I know. Where are we at?
79, I think, something
All
like
right.
that. Remember, folks, it's free to subscribe on YouTube. You're just pressing a button. No charge.
That's what
I won't try to say anything.
You don't even have to
except
watch
for a
it.
house.
We just want the
I might try to say a
subscribers.
house.
We just want the subscribers.
Yes. I don't know what that necessarily does. It's just a number that I just made
Yeah,
up.
just a metric.
Right.
I don't see it. Is it over on YouTube right now?
It says online on
All right.
YouTube, Porchcast Pottstown.
Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, I just had to refresh.
Gotcha.
Gotta have a
That
goal.
is
And we
it.
got more people jumping on Facebook, Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate. Our guest today is Nick Yannessa from Wheels in Motion. I met Nick. I've known Nick for a long time.
This is my first time meeting Nick. So
I've known
welcome.
Nick since I was a police officer. And then
Hopefully, you didn't meet Nick because you're a police officer.
I remember going over to their old shop on 8th Street for like an alarm call or something like that. Nothing
Yeah,
nothing major.
He wasn't a perp.
No.
No.
Just normal, every day running a business
Yeah.
and having an alarm system
Yeah,
type
set
stuff.
the alarm off. We've
Mm-hmm.
done that quite a few times, purposely or not purposely.
Yeah. And then we reconnected at one of the Rotary business-to-business mixers
Yep.
over at
Red Horse.
Red Horse.
Oh, cool.
And this was back when I was still doing In the Works.
Mm-hmm.
And talked to Nick about possibly coming on In the Works and stuff like that. And then people kind of know the story from there. In the
Right.
Works became Porchcast Pottstown.
Right. Melded into
With
Yes.
Moving Forward
Yes,
with Amy Wolf.
which also became Porchcast Pottstown.
Which also became Porchcast Pottstown.
Yes.
So here we are.
It's like in the works and moving forward had a baby and this is it.
Some of the best ideas just happen organically, right?
It was total organics, and it kind of filled a role,
Mm-hmm.
especially during the shutdown when we were talking before the show while we were setting up. We really became a way for people to continue to network because our normal networking methods were completely closed off to us, and also it became a way for people to share information because news was so important, especially news about things that was going on right here in Pottstown.
Yeah, like hyper-local stuff,
Hyper-local
services and resources that were available for folks.
And we could get it out in a matter of hours. You know what I mean? Rather than having to wait for the newspaper or see things on social media, and by the time somebody gets a hold of it on social media, the message has been twisted around 20 different times. So we were able to put accurate information out over the airwaves right off the bat.
During the pandemic, even with my business, I blasted social media to let them know we're still here, we're open. Like,
Right.
Right. So you
need
were
us.
considered an essential business, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Nick? So yeah, let's. You want to just jump right into it? Let's talk about what Wheels in Motion is.
All right. Well, I'll talk a little bit about myself. My name is Nick Yannessa. I went to Pottsgrove High School.
You're a Grover.
Grover.
Yeah, we're Grover. I know. There's always the rivalry, right?
Yes.
So, but now I live in Pottstown. I have 2 kids, and my son, he goes to Franklin. And then my daughter, she's in pre-K, counts at the Y.
Okay.
But yeah, and I'm married. I have a wife named Mary.
My kids went to Franklin.
Okay.
I thought my kids had a great experience there.
He loved it. Seth was just upset the past year because he's a 10-year-old boy.
Right.
He wants to play with his friends, and he's stuck at
Yeah.
home and all that stuff. And this
Right.
was his last year before he hits middle school. So he's kind of like he didn't get to enjoy that last year,
Right.
being the oldest kid in the school. But
Oh,
we
wow.
move on,
Right. And you said that your daughter is going to pre-K
Pre-K counts is at the Y.
at the Y.
Yep, and that's the new Y, not at the YMCA building. They
Okay.
moved the daycare over to the what is that drive?
It's over a Heritage Drive, right?
There
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
And she's there, yeah. And
Okay.
that's through Pottstown School District, so it's more structured like kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
Gets
Right.
them ready for kindergarten, and we love it. She's learning a lot. It's really a good deal.
Great.
And hold on, Nick. That program is free.
Free, yes. It is free, yes.
Yes. So your kid gets a jump start on school.
Yep.
Starts learning, is in the school district basically.
Absolutely.
So they're getting acclimated to Pottstown School District, and it's a free program.
And no other district, I believe, as far as I know,
No-
has
there's
that.
none
you know?
around here. I think the closest one is Reading.
That's a really great program. I
For
mean,
it's
you know,
the 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so she'll be 4. So she's
Yeah.
3. She just turned 3. Well, she turned 3 in June. Or really, no, last June. She'll be 4 this June. So she'll be in it for 2 years, and then she can start kindergarten, and she's ready to roll. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's helped because everybody compliments, and you always think, oh, it's my kid, so she's awesome. You know, no,
Right.
but everyone compliments me. Oh, she's so aware. She's so intelligent. I'm like, oh well, and I like to think that schooling has something to do with it because
Sure.
she's learning a lot of different stuff. They
Yep.
let her do. I mean, they have a lesson plan. It's very. I was impressed from
Yep.
what I know. You know.
Right.
So I thought it was pretty cool.
I think 2 of my 3 kids took part in that. I don't
Harrison
think
went to 4K at Barth.
Did he?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yep.
maybe all of my kids did. I thought that there maybe 2 of them did, but maybe all 3 of them. It's a great program.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know, the other part of it too is think about all the dollars you're saving on daycare.
Yeah, that's a payment in itself.
Yeah.
You could have a new Mercedes for a daycare payment. You know?
Right.
It's pretty costly.
Right.
No, at one point in time, I did the calculation on it when my kids were at school, and the money that we were saving on daycare, I could have bought a brand new, the truck that we wanted.
Yeah, truck,
could have
absolutely,
brand new
yeah.
that year. It was about $535 a month payment for that truck,
Right.
and we easily could have, with the money we were saving.
So
yeah.
for her, it's mostly normal. But again, my son Seth, he just it's hard because I bring him to the shop for a little bit, and he gets to do his virtual school,
Uh-huh.
and then But now he's going to school 3 hours a day or at Franklin from 12:45 to 3, or not quite 3 hours. So at least he's getting a little bit of reaction, but. There's only 4 kids in his class, and they're all girls except for him.
Oh.
Which I guess if he was an older guy,
Yeah, he might
Yeah,
be.
he'd be pretty happy with
Yes,
that ratio.
Exactly. 21-year-old Seth would probably appreciate that, but
Right.
10-year-old Seth, he wants to be with his boys, and
Right.
they're not there. So
No.
hopefully next year we can start over, and it'll be halfway back to normal.
Right.
For him, and
Gotcha.
he'll get to see all his buddies, so that'll
Yeah.
be good.
But then you're taking him down to the shop, so he's getting to see a little bit of firsthand of what Dad does.
Yep.
So there's some life lessons
Yeah,
that
for
he's
sure.
learning there.
my dad works at the shop, Poppy. So Poppy takes him and shows him how to wash cars, shows him how
Oh,
to do
that's
this.
so great.
Yeah.
So he's learning some stuff, and
Yeah.
now he gets paid too. So it's funny though
Okay.
how he negotiates. It's per job. So if
Okay.
I take the trash out, how much is that worth? If
Gotcha.
I wash this car, how much is that worth? So he's trying to do it that way. It's like, no, let's see how you do.
He's trying to do it per task, not per
task.
day.
Yeah, he is smart though. Yeah, they
Yeah.
figure it out, you know. So
And
That's so
you know,
great
that's
for him to
life-
be able to spend that time with his grandfather, with his dad, and with his grandfather. Like, so fortunate. A lot of kids don't get that bonding time with their grandparents. That's
and
really
he
wonderful.
He gets to learn a skill, and maybe if he doesn't want to be in the car business, that's totally fine. I don't really care as long as he's doing something productive.
Right.
But if he does, it shows him a way to earn money. Because when I was in college, all my friends had to fight for a job at the mall, and one of my best friends, Edwin, was like, "Dude, I want to learn how to detail cars or something." Because he goes, I got to go fight for the mall with all the other kids. You could work as much as you want.
Yeah.
And I did. I mean, I came back from summer vacation, and I made good money doing it.
So that's how you started out in the business, was detailing cars?
Yes. Well, with the family business, you could work as much as I pretty much worked from I was 12 years old helping, but then
Right.
14 more serious detailing cars helping, and then I learned some of the mechanical stuff. But I really shined in the customer service office area.
Okay.
I can do the mechanical jobs, but like my dad and the guys who work for us, they're much better at it. I mean, for a
Right.
job that's a 2-hour job would take me 4. I could do it, but
Right.
they're going to do it and have no problem. So after I graduated from Pottsgrove, I went to Western Center for Technical Studies, or what I think they call it something else now, for automotive. And then I went to Northampton Community College for Automotive Associates in Applied Science.
Great.
I was able to transfer that. I went to Pace University in New York City, and I was there from 2008 to 2011. And the first week I was there was the crash of '08. And now, mind you, I'm 3 blocks from Wall Street, and I'm 20 years old. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I was like, I'm telling my friends, I think World War III is about to start.
Wow.
Suits are running everywhere. And
Right,
then
right.
A year later, I find out what's actually going on from the technical point of view and all that stuff. And then I learn, I'm like, oh, I guess I'd be nervous too. People were losing money, losing their jobs, losing that stuff. So my original plan was to stay in New York, and because I loved the city, especially being a young guy, single guy. I mean, it was awesome. But it just wasn't a way where I could live to be prosperous. And, I would have
Gotcha.
struggled. And I didn't want to be struggling living in an apartment with 6 guys sharing a room.
Yeah, paying $3,000 a month to share a teeny apartment with 5 guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That just wasn't the life I wanted to live. So I came home. At the time, my dad bought, he had a repair shop on 8th Street. And then he bought Dame Chevrolet's body shop, which was on Jefferson Avenue. So we had 2 shops, and I worked there after school. And then, which I can back up to. I'll bounce around, but I'll get to that or whatever. Is we had the 2 shops, and then we merged into the building we have on High Street now, which was Dame Chevrolet's dealership. That's where they sold and serviced the new cars. But we were able to get a body shop in there. That's always a difficult thing. A lot of the townships do not want a body shop. I always say if it's a body shop, it's like a liquor license. If you can buy an existing property, buy an existing place. But the borough was very helpful. We had documentation. Our spray booth is 99.9% efficient. We follow 6H rules. We have water-based paint. So, I mean, it was an awesome idea, that we put together, and the borough council went for it. It had no problem because it was a car place and because this huge 12,000 square foot building was dead in 2013. Right. And I always say back in 2013, High Street was like the wild, wild west. There was nothing there. And then if a storefront opened up, that was cool. But to have this big gargantuan building empty and now active and full of life, it was a great idea. It was awesome,
Right.
So we were able to combine all of our services into one building. We do auto repair, we do state inspections, oil changes, tires, engines, and all that. We do body work, collision work. We do auto detailing. We sell accessories, auto accessories. We work on a lot of classic cars, and all that stuff.
So you were saying, though, that when your dad bought that property on Dames, that was the largest real estate sale in Pottstown at that time.
It was, yeah.
And I think you might be getting up to this, but when we talked last week on the phone in preparation for you coming in here, you said that move to High Street helped expand your business, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You want to give us the figures on that? Because
Yeah.
this is kind of impressive.
Well, that's what was, yeah. It gave us a location on High Street. That
Right.
was real estate, location, right?
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
And it gave us a pretty looking building. It's an impressive building when you come in. As an outsider, people are like, okay, these guys know what they're doing,
Right.
versus some little 2-bay garage. And not to those guys that, it just gives a better appearance,
No, there was nothing wrong with your old shop, but it was smaller.
It was
and like
what
you
it
said, it made you work out of 2 locations rather than being all under
And
one roof.
Right, be
The
centralized
tools,
in
the
one
talent,
location.
everything is all there, and it just was more efficient. There was cost savings. It was really good. But the first year, we were able to grow our business 140%, which I think is pretty awesome.
That's incredible.
And then every year up until 2020, we were able to grow. It did kind of level out and plateau towards the end.
Well, sure, for everybody.
I
it
can't
did.
keep 140%
Yeah.
forever, but I
Right.
mean, every year it grew. And it was so easy because before it used to be, where's your shop at? Jefferson Avenue between Evans and Franklin. Well, where's that at? Oh, it's here. Or 8th Street. Where's that at? And then we never had a problem on Jefferson Avenue, but there was questions of the safety of the neighborhood. And of course, the year we moved, there was some issues there with some crime and all that stuff. And there was 2 shootings that year, and that made Jefferson Avenue the most dangerous street in all of the Pottstown because of those 2 shootings.
Right.
That never happened since or then, but
Right.
we drew the short straw on that one that year. But we ended up moving, and it's been great, as far as that goes. We were able to expand our business.
And what's your address there on High Street?
525 East High Street. Used to be.
But of course, most people will just know it as, where Dame Chevrolet used to be.
Absolutely. Or Kaiser's if you're an old
No,
Pottstonian.
that's definitely before my time.
Yeah, that was that. So yeah, a lot of people know it as that, but most people know it as across on the Pottstown Library and all that stuff. And we've been able to expand and offer a better package, as far as and being able to we were able to go head to head with the chains and the dealers. Like all our repair work comes with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, and that's
Right.
nationwide too. We offer free roadside assistance. We're able to offer financing, 6 months no interest, 12 months no interest
On repairs.
on repairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
based-
significant.
That's based on your credit. It's through Synchrony or CFNA, and they're the same credit cards that you might have in your wallet already through Pep Boys or some of the chains and all that stuff. We accept, and then we do have poor credit options if you have poor credit or proof of income and all that stuff, and we can help you out with that. So about offering solutions to the problem. I want you to say
Right.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, the warranties. Nobody offers that good of a warranty as far as the dealerships, the chains, the area, the 3-year, 36,000-mile. And as long as it's not abused or neglected. Now, oil changes, wearable items aren't in that, but this is like big stuff, alternators, sensors, that type of stuff.
Right.
And as long as it's, again, not abused or neglected.
So let me get this
You bring it
straight.
there.
Somebody can come down to Wheels in Motion and buy a warranty on their car, their existing car.
No, this is
or
on
is this one?
repairs.
This is repairs
So-
that you do.
So the
Matt
repairs
comes in
are
for an
warranted.
alternator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We sell you the part and the labor.
Okay.
So that alternator goes bad, and you could move to Missouri, and that or be on the road. That alternator goes bad. You call up the warranty people. They'll hook you up with the closest shop that accepts our warranty, and they'll get you back on the road. Or locally, you just call me up.
You would call.
Hey,
right.
what's going on? And now if you tried to fix it yourself or you were
Yeah.
bashing it with a hammer
Right,
or
right,
something
right,
funny,
right.
that's a little different. But stuff like that. And then on our tires, we get really good prices on tires. We offer a road hazard warranty. So if you catch a nail or hit a pothole, which they're abundant right now,
Right.
we have coverage for that, and that's included with the tire. And it's a really, really neat package as far as that goes, because it gives you peace of mind that you're not, well, I just bought this tire and now I got to pay for another tire, or you can fix it for free. And it's a really good deal. And that's pretty much any tire, except for like if you have a drag tire or something, off-roading or anything like that. This is just
Right.
normal wear and tear, normal highway driving. So it's really
Do you
cool.
know Dakota Wynn? Dakota Wynn saying that Nick Yannessa at Wheels in Motion is the most genuine person in town.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Like I said, he's a customer of our shop.
Okay.
And it's cool to be able to talk to him, and he's a car guy too, so he likes car stuff, and he does a lot of stuff himself. But then if he can't do it or doesn't want to do it, he calls me up or at least gets my opinion. Dude, I'm doing this. What do you think I should do? So it's nice having a good relationship. But he said his mother-in-law was just in. And she got work on her car last year, and then she brought her car back this year. So it was nice. He sends people that way. So it's nice to
Right.
have people working for you, right?
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
really
Those salesmen out in the unofficial salesmen out in the community.
Exactly. So I think I'm sure he wants to work on his own stuff, and I'm sure people might bother him to work on their stuff for him. So he's like, no, I want to go to Nick Wheels of Motion, and then that way you're covered.
That's right.
Because he's busy.
You're also getting a hi from Aurora and Seth from Mary Yannessa. I'm guessing that's your wife.
They're saying
That's my
hi,
wife.
Daddy.
Yeah, that's my wife.
Thanks
the kids
everyone
are
for
saying
tuning
hi.
in. Chris
Thanks
is
for
here.
tuning in.
Lawanda's here. Nicole Matt says, Nick, where you been, man?
I know. Now that
All
Rotary
the moms are here.
can meet in person, I'd like to be able to go again, because the Zoom, I don't know. That wouldn't work for me.
You
especially
just
being
weren't
in my
feeling
house.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a Zoom type of guy if I can help it. Especially being able to talk to everybody and kind of digest what's going on, and all that stuff. So, so it's been really good.
Chris Golden's going to bring her Hyundai Elantra in for some body work. She wrecked it.
All right.
Oh no.
Yeah, she can't. She has glasses that she doesn't wear, so she can't see. And then she hit a curb.
She's saying that you
I know.
hit the curb.
And now I'm telling the real story because I'm
Oh,
not going to let
boy.
her. I'm not going to let her drag me on the comments in my own show. It doesn't
funny.
work that way.
Well, we can take care
right.
of that. We work on a lot of Hyundais. They're great cars.
I will say this: I did distract her that one day. I was talking to her about something,
Right.
and rather than paying attention when she made the turn, she was looking at me, made the turn, and hit the curb.
Okay.
It was your
I'll
good
take
looks.
partial
You'll take partial culpability. Got
Partial
it.
responsibility.
Matt, it was your good looks. That's what she just.
There you go.
Yeah, she had to keep looking, and
She was so
She
so
was
enthralled with you, right?
Lisa Jacobs is saying hello.
That's
She says she recommends Wheels in Motion to everyone she knows.
That's my mother-in-law. We fixed her car, her other car, a couple years ago. It was hit in front of her house. She's had bad luck.
Oh.
Her first car got totaled in front of her house. It got hit. And then this car, or not this car she has now, her other car got hit in front of her house. And that one we got to fix. But it's just
What
like,
are the odds? That's
she moved
awful.
now, and it's a good, quiet street, and it has a parking lot because I'm like, man, you got bad luck.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not just a little fender bender. The first, it totaled the first car. It was an older
Wow.
car, and then the second car, it was $8,000 worth of damage on
Yeah.
a new car, a new Nissan Sentra. So it's like, wow, that's some damage,
Yeah.
So yeah, and she heard it too. She's out front of her house, and she's like, I know that's my car.
Yeah, here we go again.
Exactly. Here we go again. I know that's my car. So it's good.
And then Frederick Schlick saying that Nick's great-grandfather bought every one of his cars from Kaiser Dames for 60 years.
That's my dad's cousin.
Okay.
Or my mom's cousin. Freddie is.
Uh-huh.
And then my great-grandfather lived on King Street right behind the shop.
Okay.
And his daughter lives there now, which would be my great aunt.
Okay.
So I'm sure it was convenient. They could just walk across the alley and pick out a car. Don't have to go anywhere. So I'm sure I would have liked that, right?
Yeah, right.
So it was pretty cool.
So I want to get back to a little bit of this stuff about, one of the things that we want to try to do on Porchcast Pottstown is spread the positive word, right?
Of course.
So if you are friends with Nick and you're watching the show, don't forget to hit the share button. Share this episode out onto your newsfeed or into the groups that you belong with. That will help get Nick's word about Wheels in Motion and about the great stuff going on in Pottstown happening.
Yeah, my kids like to eat every day, so you got to do it, right?
You got to support local.
You're getting some love from Tammy Vontor, says you work on all of their cars. Highly
Yep.
recommended. Thanks for tuning in, Tammy.
And so what I want to do is I want to circle back to, you said that you worked with the borough and you had a good positive experience.
Yeah, thanks. I
in working
wanted to
with
come
the
back to
borough
that,
and
too.
get your
They
business.
wanted certain things.
Right.
So for a body shop, they want certain things. They had no problem with auto repair because it was an auto repair garage, a dealership for many years. They had no problem with, of course, auto detailing because that's more or less just, again, no issue. There's a wash bay inside the building, so all the water drains, and all that stuff. So that they had no problem with that. The body shop was the question because
So why is that? That they're
paint fumes.
Yeah, fumes from the
Oh,
paint.
okay.
And
Okay.
plus they're sanding all of that.
so more
primer
noise and
everything.
banging and
Noise and banging.
It's environmental concern.
Not in my backyard. Everybody would be happy to have a body shop generating good income, but they don't want to smell paint.
Right.
So our
Okay.
booth is a Garmat booth with a mixing room. All the paint stays in the mixing room. The mixing room has a bunch of toners, they call it, and it's like a recipe. So I have to look up a code for the color. So
Okay.
like one that always sticks out of my mind is WA8555. That's General Motors black. And there's a formula, 1 part this, 2 parts this, blah, 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 and you mix it on the scale and it makes that. Everything stays contained in that room. And then you walk right from the room to the paint booth. So no walking the paint around the shop, anything like that. So it's very contained. And then you can't smell paint. You will not smell paint. It's 99%, like I said, filters, and you have to change the filters and service the filters. So through the stack, nothing will go through.
Mm-hmm.
So it is funny because I did have a lady, this business has since closed, but I did have a lady complain and she smelled paint. I said, not from me. Well, this guy used to paint bumpers in the parking lot, nearby.
Gotcha.
And I was like, that's not me. You will not smell the paint from me. And she complained or whatever. And she, of course, was threatening to call the borough and have issues. But I was comfortable. And once I showed her the booth and I said, walk into my shop, smell. Do you smell anything? That man is painting right now. And she couldn't.
Right.
So it was nice to have an advocate as a neighbor. Of course, it was a little negative, but we turned it into a positive once
Great.
we were
Right.
transparency and education and all that. But we're right though. Going back to working with the borough, they were very. We showed them the paperwork. That Garmat booth, that's $100,000 investment. That spray booth, and then we had to have a fire suppression system in the paint booth. They were just concerned about flammability with the paint and all that stuff, and keeping everything. It's heated by natural gas. It gets up to 140 degrees in 3 minutes. So they just wanted to make sure everything was safe, and then that created the precedence. A guy did. I guess he had since sold the property. He didn't. He's not in business anymore. But he took the mag shop building and put it.
Yeah,
up
down on Adams Street.
So
I believe somebody from Glocker Real Estate was involved in that
Okay.
deal. I think
Where
it
is
was
that one?
Martin Slater.
Gotcha.
It's on Adams Street. If you make a right-hand turn on Bart's at Bart's Sunoco on Adams, there was a garage behind there. It was called the Mag Shop
Yes.
For many years.
for many years. Then there was like a motorcycle garage in there for a little while.
Yep.
And then they were
The
like,
guy who was doing hot rods there, and
Yeah.
then it's kind of cool that Wheels of Motion was the precedence. If you want to build a body shop in the borough of Pottstown, you have to meet these standards. So they, of course, I know with council, they're always worried about a precedence. How is this going to be? So we showed them that this is how we're doing it. We're doing it
Right.
legit.
You showed them that it could be done safely and quietly and in compliance with all the rules and regulations and all that.
And it is a tedious process doing all this stuff. Everybody wants to open up their business and make money. Let's do it, but there's things that had to be done for the safety of the building. Some of it, the Dames family had to take care of. Some of it was on us. But overall, I would say it's a positive experience because it was like more or less, what do you want me to do? And it's like, we knew we couldn't cut corners. We knew we had to do it legit. Like,
Right.
we knew there was cost involved. It's like, that's what it is. What we're doing, we had to make it right, and we don't have a problem as far as that
and at
goes.
the end of the day, you don't feel like that slowed you down, right? Because at the
Absolutely
end of the day, you got to where you were at.
Absolutely.
And you increase your business 140% in that
Yep,
first year.
That first year. So it was well worth it. And like I said, that's what we had to do. So, no, it did help that we had a positive experience. Unfortunately, I guess some people have bad experiences, and I'd be interested to hear why. Is it their negative attitude because I don't want to spend $10,000 on a fire suppression system? Yeah, either do I. But what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and in
Right.
the end, it's a safety
It's a safety
measure
thing.
that you have, and that probably also affects your insurance rates and
Absolutely.
things like that.
Yeah, insurance, and they
Yeah.
once they saw everything was legit, insurance people were awesome. They thought it was great. They were, as far as that goes, we don't have any problems as far as keeping the building up to date and keeping it safe. And we get the fire suppression system inspected every year. Slaymaker comes out and does all our extinguishers and keeps them all up to date. I mean, it's just this is how we have to run in 2021.
Right.
It's not going to be behind how do I want to say, can't be done halfway.
Right. Right.
And I guess the other question that comes to my mind too is, and we talked a little bit about this before, and I want to kind of touch on it because we know that there's always the naysayers, right? There's
Absolutely.
always the naysayers, and I think for a long time, Pottstown suffered from the naysayers. You know what I mean? We're kind of our own worst enemy.
Absolutely.
We beat ourselves up a lot especially on social media, and what would you say? I mean, clearly you've had a positive experience here in the borough of Pottstown, right? You've grown your business right here in the borough of Pottstown.
Yes.
You've had a positive experience in your location on High Street. What's the lesson that you've learned about Pottstown, or what would you say to those naysayers out there? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's like if you focus on, what do they say? If you surround yourself with four idiots and you're the fifth one. So I think it's kind of the same. I'm probably not getting exactly right, but it's the same thing. I find that people, like you find that people that are educated hang out with other educated people. Maybe mechanics hang out with other mechanics. Attorneys hang out with other attorneys. So I think it's kind of the same thing. If you're around people that are complainers, you're probably a complainer too. Or I don't want to hang out with complainers. If it's like every time I hang out with Matt, he's complaining about this, complaining about that. It's like next time I'm going to be like, dude, I'm busy. I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
I don't want to deal with somebody who's complaining about. And it's kind of like, I love Matt's phrase. He has posted this on social media a lot. I don't know that I know something about the best market in 22 years.
yeah, it's the best sellers market in 22 years.
I'll help you get in and out.
Yep,
Yeah.
I can help you move out as easy
Yep.
as I can help you
Anybody
move
that's
in.
not happy here in Pottstown,
I'll
now
give
is
me
the
a
time.
call.
Put that for sale sign up, and
I
you can
can
get
help
the
you.
more than you would have, $20,000 more than you would have a year ago.
I think the other thing too is it's what I learned from Bob McKinney, and this is the story I told on the show the other day. He said to me, keep your head above the clouds. It's the only place the sun is shining. And that's kind of the similar thing that you're saying too. Surround yourself with the people who are positive,
Right.
and you'll see positive results.
Absolutely.
I like the other thing that you said too. I don't want to hear the negativity. I'm too busy.
Right.
I got
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I got stuff to do. I
Right.
got some work to do
Yeah.
in order to make my business and make the town better.
Right.
I'm not going to get slowed down by the negativity. So I think that's all. I think that's all
And
good stuff.
It's funny, like some of the Pottstown pages, I don't even want to hear. Like I don't even read them, or every once in a while I'll comment, and it's like, I wasted my time. These people, they're
Right, you can feel
convinced-
yourself like losing brain cells as you're reading the
and
other
They're
comments.
convinced that they have the answers. They're right.
Mm-hmm.
They see it from their side of the coin, and it's like this negative mentality. So what I've been really excited about is, and I was talking about to my mom. My mom helps out at our business. She does a lot of the bookkeeping and the payrolls and all that stuff. So it's funny because she's like, I've noticed all strangers lately and younger people, more my age group. While I love having older customers, I do look at it. I have to replace these older customers.
Mm-hmm.
They retire. They don't drive as much.
Right.
They're going to move away. They're going to die. I mean, it's
Right.
what it is. So I need 25-year-old, 35-year-old customers because they're going to need tires. They're going to crash into something. They're going to want their car detailed. They're going to want,
They just need to get their car inspected every year.
I need to replace these customers because I've seen, there was another friend of mine who had a garage and he had to close. He ended up closing his business and sell it because he had he was a senior citizen and all his customers were senior citizens.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to see new people come in and I have a conversation with them. They're from Philly, New York, Westchester, Jersey. Like even a couple weeks ago, a guy moved here from North Jersey. I got to get my car inspected. What do I do? And he says, "Oh, I Googled you guys. You were the closest one." He bought a house on Franklin Street.
Great. Love
and it's
it.
amazing to see, how do I say, like the demographics of people that you normally associate with certain blocks don't match up. So you're starting to see maybe a higher income class of people buy houses in these maybe not so desirable neighborhoods. And I even see that with Matt with the real estate. It's like, man, he's asking good buck for that house on Chestnut Street or
Right.
this that typically was half that a couple years ago. But now
Literally just a couple years ago.
Literally, yeah, exactly. It used to be, man, you could buy a half a double on anywhere in Pottstown for 80, 90,000. Take your pick. Now you're 130, 150,
Yeah,
or
we're even
more.
getting higher than that
And
now.
even higher than that for a twin house, just a normal, typical house. And then some of the more extravagant houses. It's amazing to see that in these couple of years. But I like that. We're bringing in.
It's great.
Yes, you're bringing in the business, and I will say this too, Nick. It's a two-way street because you, like you said, you were one of the first people. Like, let's not get it twisted. You and your family were some of the first people to decide, hey, look, we're going to grow our business on High Street in Pottstown. Because yes, there was you. And I'm not taking that away
Let's
from
just say
you.
there was a small group.
There was a
Me,
smaller
Adam
group.
Burke, there was a
and
couple
the
of
Wolves.
us.
Like,
Well,
yeah,
you
maybe
guys-
a small
we
handful.
bought a big old house that needed
When
to
did
be
you
fixed
move
up.
down? When did you move down there?
2012.
Okay. So I thought it was later than that. I didn't realize it was that long. Wow.
Yep.
Cool.
So, but what I'm saying is, and not only did they decide to grow their business on High Street, but look at the size of the property that they bought. They literally bought the biggest property on High Street
Yes,
at that
and
time.
and did a really nice job of making it
clean
look
it up.
good and putting
That's
a viable, vibrant business in a. The 500 block is pretty decent, but you get into the 400 block on High Street, and it
It's
starts
still
to get
a little rough.
So
It's
now you've
still
got
a
a
little
business
rough.
there with people coming and going, and
Activity.
it helps all that.
That's all good stuff. Yeah. Now I don't know if
I
don't
guess
know-
I'm giving you some kudos here,
All right.
because without those businesses going on to High Street, and without somebody being the tip of the spear and proving that it could be done,
Right.
these other folks that have come in later,
Yeah.
the JJ Radigans, the stuff that's going on in the old farmers market,
The-
without people like Nick and you guys, the trailblazers, we might not see that stuff here.
Look at the auto tags place that moved from the 1000, the
Yeah,
corner of
next to
Time and
Jack
High. They
Cassidy's.
moved to the 300 block.
Right.
Yep, I was just there today.
Because there's more traffic, there's more business there. Just as much as I'm helping bringing in clients that have the money to get their cars fixed with Nick, the presence of his business is simultaneously raising those property values.
Yep.
So it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so kind of not anxious, that's not the word, excited to get Nick on the show to show people that this is what the growth of Pottstown looks like. It takes some guts, it takes some courage, and it takes trailblazers. And we're sitting here with one.
Right.
And I'm here to tell you from the real estate perspective, it's working.
Right.
It's working.
Yeah.
And I think we got and then for the property, we got a deal on the property because they wanted to sell it. And I think that at the time it was like, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. So we got a hell of a deal on the property.
Right.
And I think, in any other area, that property would have been much more,
Sure.
hundreds of thousands more to be able to get that, that size of a building and all that stuff. So it was a pretty, like I said, it was a pretty good deal for all of us. Now, I know how much truth to this. Maybe it has changed since then. But at the time, Tri-County Credit Union is who we have our financing through when we got the property. Is they said that we were the largest commercial property that they did ever.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how truth, or maybe I don't know if I'm number one or maybe I'm top 5, but at the time we were the biggest. So maybe there's been some change since then, but I thought that was pretty cool,
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
Well, and that property is so unique. I mean, there's not a lot of businesses that I would imagine would want to would even look at a property like that, because for another kind of business there would have to be so many changes to the building or the property. Like, it was a perfect location for your
Yes.
business, right?
You know what I always thought? Like, I would drive past that place all the time, and I'm like, man, that'd make a great brew pub and a restaurant because it had the parking.
It had tons of
you
parking.
could get the tanks in
Right.
there
Right.
for everything.
Yeah,
Now,
but even for that,
I'm happy where the brew pubs ultimately landed because they're
but-
closer to my house.
yeah. So, but it would, even if for that, it would have to take. There would have been a lot of a lot of
millions of
renovations
dollars.
for
Yes.
any sort of property that wasn't automotive related.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
There was some lookers on the property, but kind of to echo what you're saying, the 3 people that were interested in it all said they'd have to spend too much money to make it what they want, and that
Right.
was it. So it's perfect for an automotive facility.
Right.
So Dame Chevrolet closed in 2008, and so it was empty for 5 years before we took it over. We took over their body shop building right away, before we moved there. So, but that building was empty, like I said, 5 years.
Right.
And the reason they closed is because they either wanted them to build a large new building, spend millions to renovate that one, but they really wanted them to move out of town, like on the Auto Mile with all the other ones.
Right. So in order to keep their dealership with Chevrolet, Chevrolet was asking them to either move out of town or do a major renovation. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that building wasn't feasible. And if you look at our paperwork, they call it an antiquated dealership building, meaning you would never get a franchise in. Like, if I said, hey, I want to sell Hyundais or whoever,
Right.
nobody would give it to you because it's not good enough it's a 2-car showroom. Or like I remember being at one dealership and I'm like, man, this showroom's the size of our whole shop, It's this. So they don't want these little mom and pop dealerships. They wanted bigger stores. And I guess it makes sense because at the time, you got to think they had Dame Chevrolet, you had Sugg Chevrolet, you had Quigley Chevrolet, you had Tom Oates Chevrolet, you had Kelly Chevrolet, you had the one in Royersford. You had 6 dealerships all within a zone. And I'm sure that was bad for business because they're pulverizing sales from each other. So it was probably a good move for them to condense dealerships, and I'm sure it made it a little bit more positive for the guys that decided to stay. And I think the Dames family, they were getting older, and I just think it was a good time to get out. And I guess shortly after the bankruptcy, that was in 2009, probably worked out for them that they didn't lose their franchise, because how many do you imagine working hard for 50 years or 30, Mr. Dames worked at that from 1949 to 2008 when he retired.
Right.
So that man gave his life to that place.
Right.
I couldn't imagine in 2008 saying, all right, you're done. You're not getting anything for your 50 years of between working and owning the dealership
Right.
investment. So probably worked out for the best for everybody, which
Right.
it created opportunities for us, And it's amazing the amount of people that bought their cars there, and all the stories.
Yeah,
I
I'm
hear.
sure you still hear stories from folks, right?
So I feel what's awesome is this negative action made something positive. For us.
Yeah.
So things. I guess sometimes I get tired of hearing from the older people that Pottstown was so perfect in the '60s and everything was great. Well, maybe the factory smelled because they were burning stuff all the time and the whole town smelled. I don't know. I wasn't around, so just giving my input. But there is negativity, but just like everything, you have to innovate. We have to keep growing. We have to this. And clearly, Pottstown did not do that in the 60s and 70s. They didn't do enough to keep people here, so that's why it went. So I look at Pottstown as a big business. If we ran our automotive repair business the same way we did in 1985 as we did in 2021, what worked, and me and my dad have this discussion all the time of things that worked and didn't work. It's like we can't do that anymore. We have to innovate. We have to make it interesting
Right.
and fun.
Right.
And I look at my business, JJ Radican or Lily's or Pottstown Brew Pub. You see Matt's excited to go there. He could drink some beer.
Right.
I highly doubt people are getting up in the morning like, yeah, get some tires today. Maybe a lift kit, or you're getting some custom wheels, or we've been selling a lot of wheels lately because of springtime and that seasonal or stuff like that. But so you have to make it positive and fun, and you have to innovate and keep that moving. And we've been doing a lot of things, like I think I was touching on the warranty earlier and all that stuff. And the new thing we have with COVID is we have lock boxes. You can pay with your card over the phone, and we can put your code in a lockbox. So I'll call you up. Hey, Amy, your total is $100.25 to get your car worked on. You're in box
That
3.
sounds great. I'm bringing my car to you.
Yes, you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes it convenient, because I know business hours don't always coincide with getting rides and all
Sure.
that stuff. So it's like, and I might say, hey, your car's in this area. Your code is this, and I usually like to let you make a code, so it's something usually easy for you to remember. Everybody
Right.
has special numbers they like.
Sure.
So I'll say, hey, your code is 1945. Your code, it's in box 3. You can come grab it whenever you want. So it's safe, it's contact free, it's easy, it's convenient, and then we also have text to pay too. So I can text you your invoice, and then it'll give you the amount. You can pay with your card right over the phone.
That's great.
So it really speeds up the checkout process. And then, or same thing with the after hours thing. You don't have to see me, or you don't have to come in. You can move and make it easy.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
so
just-
those kinds of innovations, Nick, are what are going to keep the young people, or be attractive to the young people that, they don't want to have to talk to you on the phone. They want to just do everything by text, or they want to be able to come by at 6 o'clock when you close at 5:30, because that's when they get off of work, and they want to be able to pick up their car.
You're
and,
not stressed. You're not stressed. Oh, I got to get there. Got to get there in time. Blah, blah, blah. You're running. The only
Right.
people, I think, the people with the classic cars, the high-end cars, they still want to pick up their car. I don't feel comfortable leaving a high-end car like that out. But 95% of the people, this works, and it's really been working well. COVID or not, I think it's something that'll stay, because
Sure.
they love it. It's just
One of
awesome.
the things that we keep hearing over and over again, and on Porchcast Pottstown, and then I have another show called the Castic Locker that we do up in Boyertown. And one of the things that we keep hearing over and over again from the different businesses and the nonprofit organizations is the ones that have been the most successful are the ones that have been able to shift gears through this COVID and think outside the box and come up with solutions in order to keep their businesses running, in order to meet that demand that was created by the COVID regulations or the COVID precautions. It's just amazing to me. Now, nobody has said they've come up with something that's absolutely allowing them to crush it, but it is keeping them running during a time when, if they had not made that transition, and just like you said, had they not thought for the future and innovated, they would have been hurt really bad by
Absolutely.
what was going on.
We were fortunate to stay open, because auto repair is an essential business. The only thing I did was, and I did lose a couple people over it, but most people understood, was the waiting appointments. You can wait with your car, but I had no waiting appointments. Nobody was allowed in the building for 3 months, or that 3
Right.
months. I had
Yeah.
everybody outside. I had everybody doing it that way. If I did have to come out, I came out with my mask, and I just kept it to a minimum, just because we wanted to keep the foot traffic down and
Right.
all that stuff. That was pretty much the only change I did. But March and April were good last year. May, it was terrible. But
Right.
June, once they opened up again, because all the cars, and I think this pattern is going to exist for us for a couple of years, all the cars were out of inspection February, March,
right.
April, May.
Right.
So
Right.
we're doing June, July, August, and I'm still doing cars out of inspection from 2020.
Right.
So it's like, I think it was so...
We have this
All right, I'm gonna put it up over
Alrighty,
here
I'm
too.
Yeah, now you'll hear it.
Who's SV Exit Strategy?
That's Jason Morris.
Oh, hey Jay.
Jason Morris, sorry about that, folks. If the sound dropped off for you, it was not you, it was us. We have a loose wire now on our soundboard.
Always something.
Always something. But I can see now that we're getting a return going back through the system. The
All right.
soundboard's back up. Sorry for the interruption. What were you talking about?
We were talking about COVID and all.
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And I was chiming in to say that I did not realize all of the services that you do there at your place, Nick. So really, anything that you would go to Pet Boys or CJ's Tires or any of that, those,
Absolutely.
any of the national places, we could come to you.
Exactly. And a lot of
Right.
people like it. Like Matt's dad brings his car to us.
Mm-hmm.
How we started was he lives over at the library, or did, so
Yeah.
somebody hit his car, we fixed it, and now he brings all his work, using
Great.
him as an example. We've
Right.
I think my son hit the van, and we had to get it prepared.
Did he cop to that? Like,
Yeah,
did it?
no, I was with him.
Oh, okay.
I
He
was
did say
teaching
his
it-
grandson.
Oh, you were teaching him to drive.
I was teaching Andrew how to drive.
Whoops.
And
He cut it a little
We
close.
hit the van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
yeah,
right.
that's.
Well, great. So your misfortune was Nick's business. So
Well, I
great.
don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yes,
but
of course.
I know it's bound to happen eventually. I just hope you think of me, right?
Right. So also for like Mother's Day and Father's Day coming up, buy a gift card so that they can come and get their car detailed.
Absolutely. A lot of people like that gift. Like one lady last year got $100 each for her kids, and she said, "I know my kids always need something with their car because
Right.
they also bring their cars here.
Great.
The mom and the two kids. So I've seen that, and I've seen people get a car detail
Mm-hmm.
or get WeatherTech mats. We're a WeatherTech dealer, and we usually can get them pretty quickly.
Oh, cool.
That type
Oh,
of
good.
stuff.
I'm going to come down.
Yay.
I want the weather text for my new
Your
new car
ride,
that
yeah.
I told you
and
about.
if we don't have them, we can usually get them pretty quick. I will say COVID did deplete the inventory for a while, but it's starting to get back to normal.
Well, I think the other thing too is like, because I noticed this with some of the contractors that I work on, people weren't having to call contractors, and there was probably some jobs that people could do on their own cars. And since they were stuck at home for 3 months, they might have been doing a little bit of their own
They were
work.
trying to
Some-
become certified
Yeah.
YouTube mechanics.
or they just weren't using the car because
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
it's funny, certain people I might see this person every 3 months or every couple months, and I'm going 8-9 months and I'm not seeing people because they don't need anything. They're stuck at home. Their oil change is fine. They come in eventually when they remember that their car is 9 months out of inspection. I mean, that's what I was getting for a while, but I feel like slowly it's starting to get back to normal. But we didn't, like I said, we didn't feel it too much. Once summer
good.
hit, it kind of went back to normal.
Right.
We were blessed to stay busy, so that was good. And
Nick-
now with the warm weather, always brings out people getting their car in shape
Sure.
for the year, and then you have tax money, and now you're piling stimulus money on top of that.
Right.
That's like a trifecta of
Yes.
Right. So people are like, all right, I've been putting this up, and now I got a couple of bucks, and I can take care of it.
And even the fun stuff, like people are ordering custom wheels,
Right.
no problem, because they have this extra money. They're getting, different accessories, or they're getting some of the bigger purchases done, all the
Mm-hmm.
fluids and all the stuff, the maintenance items that maybe they neglected. Like, hey, I'm going to get this all taken care of while I have the money.
Right.
Let's spend it before I find something else to
Yeah.
spend it on. So we've been seeing a lot of that, and I guess that's what it was meant to do.
Yeah,
Stimulate
to
the
go
economy.
back into the economy. So, it's helping your business. You're able to pay your people that are working for you, and,
Yep.
and that's how it's supposed to work.
And it was good.
Nicole Matt says that your guys particularly like when you bring in a Sandy car from the beach.
Yes. Nicole she's a fun one. Every time she brings her car in it, she makes us work for it, but she likes it though. It's all done and fresh and all that. She's always happy every time. Like, man, I should get this done more often. But I think she just lives an active life where I think if she got it done every month, it would still be dirty, because of all her activities that she does.
I do not get my car cleaned as much as I should. Like growing up, we don't have a driveway here. I don't know if my hose is like long enough to go out to where where you park your car out there
in the alley.
But that was like an activity that we did when we were bored. Like, Mom, I'm bored. She'd be like, go wash my car. So And it's nice having a clean car.
A lot of people appreciate it. It's there one day, it's in and out, it's done, and they enjoy it. And I think most people don't want to do it. Or they let us do the hard work, let us get all the sand out.
Yeah,
and then once
the
a month
tar
they
and
take
all
it to the car wash and shine the tires and kind of put the finishing touches on it to keep it nice. So I have a lot of people do that. So it's just it's a really good thing to do, and it keeps, maintenance should stop under the hood. You have a car that looks beautiful or runs beautiful but looks like crap. It's like you're not going to want it.
Right.
And it's funny because people have kept their car. I was thinking about trading it in. I might keep it now. I didn't realize that.
It looks so good. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, saves you money. I mean, it's a good thing. So it shouldn't stop under the hood.
Well, and for me, I can just drop it off, and it's 3 blocks from your place to my office.
Exactly.
I can just drop it off and walk to the office, and then walk back to pick it up.
And we've been seeing a lot of that too. More people because of the downtown coming in. I'll use like April Burkowski, Cedarville.
Sure.
She brings her vehicles now because she can walk there, or it's an easy ride, and we're right there. So I appreciate that. So our plan is working. That's kind of the thoughts I had in mind. My dentist is Dr. Rohrbach. He brings all his vehicles there, again, right across the street. Get a lot of people from the library, like Matt's dad, he brings their car because they'll go to the library can you do this? I have a meeting. And then, Mr. Green will be happy because he drops it off after lunch. By the end of the day, when he's done all his stuff, comes back and done. So we're starting to see a lot of that downtown stuff.
Yeah, so if you can make dropping your car off for service not a hassle, because let's face it, it's always a drag when you got to drop your car off for service or for whatever. But if you can make it not a hassle based on where you're located because you're so convenient and you're supporting a local business, that's a win-win.
And I have auxiliary waiting rooms. I've had people use the Poorhouse in Little Italy as their waiting room. Or the pub, or Very Best, or the farmer's market. And I've heard people do this, and it kind of makes the wait not as bad.
Exactly,
especially
because
if it
there's
needs a little
something to
bit more.
do. Because most car dealerships or most service stations are not any place where you can walk to something.
Yes.
Right?
Now everybody wants to be on the highway, to echo what I was saying earlier. It's like you go down to the dealerships at Limerick, where you go, and Wawa. I think that's about it, and it's really not as comfortable. But I mean,
when you're not crossing those big busy streets to walk over to the Wawa to go get a coffee. You're sitting in their sterile waiting room that's boring, watching awful daytime
Jerry
TV.
Springer.
Yeah, Jerry Springer. Yeah, you can bring your iPad. We have Wi-Fi, but if it's going to be a couple hours, I usually recommend that. Hey, and it's nice to be able to say there's a bunch of places to eat now. So you can get lost at one of those places, and the wait won't be as bad. So if it is 3-4 hours because we got to do breaks or got to do stuff that. Hey, I spent the day here. I'm good, and maybe even with the work from home now, I have quite a few customers that'll set up shop and make my waiting room the little conference room. They'll have their headset on. They're ready to roll.
Right.
I even had a couple people that want to stay. Like, hey, can I stay here? I'm on a roll here. I'm like, hey, just pay your bills so you can get back to work, and I'm good.
That's great. What a compliment that is. That's a comfortable area for people to hang out and work.
It's quiet, and they've used it and taken over. And I said one lady was there for 3 extra hours, and my dad's like, did you tell Michelle her car is done? I'm like, yeah, she paid. She has her keys. She said she wants to stay.
Right.
I'm not going to kick her out.
She maybe was getting more work down there than at home, with
maybe
the kids
she was.
and stuff.
And you feel like because you're out of the house or I don't know, so it worked for her, and it does. Her new job, I guess she's been working from home. She had a job in this particular case where she had to go to the office again, but now she's been working from home. But it's been working out well that in those types of cases, people like it. So
I like the idea that Nick. He knows all of his customers. It's a personal relationship. It's more than just dropping your car off at some dealership where you don't know anybody.
Right.
This is a guy that lives in your community. He knows who you are.
It's oldie time.
It is.
And that's what we want. We want people to come back. We want people to be happy. I get to know your car. Sometimes I have people that like to bounce around, and it's like nobody gets to know your car, know the different needs. Like your tires might be getting down, but it's like, Amy, you drove 4,000 miles. Your tires will last another year.
Right.
Versus Matt, the real estate agent who's running around all over, I might say, dude, you need tires soon because you drive a lot more. You're going to wear them out. So you kind of base that on, your recommendations based on what you need, as far as, or is this a new car, like again, using tires, your 1995 truck that you use to get mulched twice a year. Well, we're going to put the cheapest thing we can on, because as long as it's round rubber hole there, you don't care about the mileage warranty. You don't care that, as long as they're safe and they do the job. Or other people have a particular need of what they need, or hey, I go off road, I take it my hunting cabin, or I drive a lot, I want this done. So you get to know like I said, the different needs of the car. And I might say, are you going to keep this car because this service is coming up? You should do that if you're going to keep this car.
Right.
So we get to, again, know your car, know what you want, know what needs to be done, and kind of keep track of it. A lot of times we use the maintenance book. So if Subaru says at 90,000 change your spark plugs, that's what we're going to tell you to do.
Right.
But then certain things are just based on the particular customer. Like I always use my dad and me. I'm terrible on brakes. My brakes will last 20,000, where my dad is nice and easy, coast, put it in this, and then he stops. His brakes will last 50,000.
Right.
So those types of things, when we talk about certain things, you got to know how you are. It's like where I get to know.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, here comes Joe. He's hard on his brakes.
Yeah.
So what kind of cars are you driving? Because Jason Mara seems to know something about you, that you might have some kind of like lowrider collection or something.
I have a 61 Impala.
Okay.
I haven't used that in a couple of years. I need to get that out. That was my first car. It's red. It's a really nice car. And then my other car is a 1996 Cadillac Fleetwood.
Okay.
So now for our younger people, maybe our 45 and younger crowd that watched Friday, my 61 Impala looks like Big Worm's car.
Yeah.
And then,
the 61 Impala, it's a boat, man. It's an impressive vehicle.
Yeah, it's a really neat car, but I figure I'd use that reference for our people who watched Friday. They would know. Well, then the neighbors in Rancho Cucamonga had a Cadillac Fleetwood. So again, watching that show, if you watched it, our younger people, like my dad, he just discovered it 3 years ago.
I don't know what that show is at
Friday?
Friday, the movie Friday with
Friday After Next.
Ice
Cube and Chris Tucker.
Okay, yeah.
They're hilarious if you watch them. Classics, not for children, but
sure.
But to give you a car reference, that's a lot of things.
Got
and then
it.
my daily driver is a 2017 Cadillac CT6.
Okay.
I like that because that's the Fleetwood 2.0. They stopped making them. That's the last of the big. I'm 6'5". I need a car that's roomy.
Yes.
For my kids to sit inside.
That's why everybody always asks me, "Oh, Matt, why do you get these big, huge trucks, and why do you need trucks?" Because I don't fit into anything.
Yeah. What are you going to get? A
else.
Mini Cooper? I mean,
No,
right?
I'd have to take I'd have to take the front seat out
And
of a
sit in
Mini
the back.
Cooper and
Yeah.
drive from the back seat.
Well, before I had kids, I had a Cadillac ATS coupe and I had a Cadillac CTS coupe. They were great, but you weren't sitting behind me.
Right.
It was that was a 3-seater, not a 4-seater, So it's like, you're right, having the car for your need, and it's a really nice car, and we wanted maybe like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but same thing, no room. Once I sit back, I'm big, and we couldn't quite swing wanting to spend for like a Tahoe or an Expedition or anything like that. That just wasn't in our alley, so we found this car. It really works well for everybody. My wife,
Mary says she loves it because it's fast.
she loves it because it's fast.
So those CT, what do you have? The
CT6 it's called.
Yeah.
And at first she was like, "Well, Nick, we should get this, we should get that." And then once she got in it and drove it and liked it, she's like, "I see why you wanted this car."
Right.
And she loves it now.
Well, which one? The one Cadillac has the Corvette
It's
engine
V.
in it.
You can get a CTS V. Or an ATS V, or the V is like the AMG Mercedes, or the M.
Yeah.
The V is their version of that. So
Right.
yeah, so it's like finding the car that fits your needs, and that's one thing I like to have a conversation about. Like, some people, I want to buy this 10-year-old BMW. Dude, maybe that's not the car for you. And not to sound insulting, but if you're a cashier at Wawa, you can't afford that type of car, and again, not insulting that type of job. I mean, hey, that's your job. That's great. We need these people, but you should buy a Hyundai or a Mazda. They're cheaper to purchase.
Nice Honda Civic.
Honda Civic.
Yeah.
They're cheaper to maintain. They're not going to beat you up over the head, Now, if you
you get the BMW, it's $1,000 every time something goes wrong.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah, light bulb, $1,000.
And Nick will be glad to take your $1,000.
Yeah.
I will.
But
Yes.
if he can help you get into a more affordable
But
vehicle.
buy something that is affordable, and what happens is I can get this BMW for $8,000. There's a reason why it's $8,000.
Right.
You got it at the end of the life where you
Yes.
have
Now everything's going to start going wrong.
and nothing is cheap. So it's like, that type of car you got to have. And I've had people get mad at me or offended at me, thinking I'm calling them cheap or calling them this, but I'm trying to help you out. I don't want you here because you're going to be mad at me because every time you turn around.
Well, you're trying to tell them what to expect. You're trying to manage their expectations.
Exactly.
Right?
So, and then other people, it's like, I'm glad you told me that. And I've even had people like my sister-in-law, she wanted to buy a new car. She called me up, hey, there's this Mazda CX-5. Good choice for you. I said, you're going to go from regular oil to synthetic oil. That's this much. Other than that, it's a normal car. And I did mention to her, like, all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive cars, you have to, if you have a blowout and the tires are bald, you have to change all four.
Yeah.
So I kind of prepped Anna for those 4 things, or 2 things. She was cool. I said, everything else is going to be, take it as it comes, but, it's nice that she asked me that because she's going to buy a car. Then I'm like, why did you buy this?
Right.
Why did you do this?
You're getting some love from Lauren McCloskey, says Nick is the best.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
She has a Hyundai Tucson. Great car.
So listen, man, we're coming down towards the
Oh, yeah.
bottom of the show. Did you get out everything you wanted to get out, or
No.
at least most of it?
Told you.
You'll
The
never
important
get it
stuff,
all.
I did want to tell people, man,
That hour flew by
Yeah.
quick, didn't it?
It did. I got the important stuff out about being positive, about
Yes.
all that stuff. I did want to tell everyone from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. May 1st, we're having an open house at our shop right before the Pottstown Car Show. So
Oh,
if
nice.
you want it, I figured it was perfect. I do not want to step on the Pottstown show because I want that to be successful. I figured people could come check us out, and by 3 o'clock, we're over. And then you could wander over to the car show, whether as a spectator or if you had a car, bring it out. Thought it'd be a great
So
idea.
that's May 1st, open house
Yep.
at Wheels in Motion. What time, Nick?
11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
7 to 3 p.m.
We'll
Great.
add that to our news,
Cool. I'm
and
putting
we'll
it on the
get
list
that
right here.
out
And you
on
can-
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
We'll have our shop open. Of course, with COVID, we have to be limited and have so many people in at a time.
Sure.
But we're going to have shop tours and show people, our shop and some of the equipment. And it's really neat to see the stuff, for especially the people who have no idea what's going on. Like, how does my car get fixed? It just goes to the back and it comes out. So, being able to show the behind the scenes, how it works, and
Yeah.
whatever car we have in progress, I can talk about and explain. And a lot of our customers, I'm sure, will have their cars there. And it's cool. If you want to stay an hour, stay an hour. If you want to stay 15 minutes, stay 15 minutes. So it's cool. We had an open house when we first opened up, and it was awesome for business, just to kind of show everyone our shop and all that stuff. And even years later, maybe you had a mechanic, but then when you backed into something, you remembered, oh, I'm going to go see those guys. So it really helped out. I can't have as much food and fun stuff as I did last time, just because because of COVID. But I can have light refreshments, maybe some water or some chips or stuff like that. But at least you can come and check us out and see what's going on. And if you have questions, we'll be there to help.
All right, man.
Cool.
Thanks for coming out. Nick Yannessa has been our
Deb Penrod
guest
says the worst
today.
thing she ever did was buy a new car because now she doesn't need to see you very much
I
anymore.
know. But she can still see me. I'm sure it's dirty and needs to be cleaned up.
Yes.
She's usually
There you
good
go,
for
Deb.
that.
There you go. Bring it in for a detail, Deb. Nick Yannessa, Wheels in Motion. They're located at 525 East High Street in the lovely borough of Pottstown. Come see Nick for auto repair, auto body, and detailing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one-stop shopping for everything you need for your car.
Buy
Nick,
local.
I'm going to be down because I definitely need some of those WeatherTech.
They're well
Right.
worth
So
it.
there's a thing where you can buy local, support a
going
local
to,
business
yes.
instead of ordering them
I
online.
was going to order them online,
Yeah,
but
great.
now I'm going to go down there
And
instead.
it's free
Yeah.
shipping if you
Dig it.
pick it up at our store. See, we were doing spot pickup
Come
at
on.
store before it was cool,
I'm
right?
I'm
So there you
beating
go.
Jeff Bezos, man. I'm going
Yeah.
down to my boy Nick at
Yeah.
Wheels in Motion.
And
Take
usually-
that, Amazon.
Yeah.
And usually we
There's
can
your green
beat
tip
shipping.
for the day. You're buying local.
Usually we can beat the shipping time because if they're readily available, I get deliveries just about every day.
Cool.
So if usually I can get them pretty quickly too, which beats Amazon where it might be 2-3 days till you get them.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't mind picking them up, we make it easy.
All right, I'll be down. Sold.
All right.
Deal.
Done.
I'll give you the details after the show.
Excellent.
All right, you
Oh,
got some news and
lots
events.
of love. Amy Mraz is
No,
tuning in.
every single person that commented had something positive for Nick about something he's done, either for them or in the community, or his positive attitude.
And that's it. That's word of mouth is the best
Well,
best referrals, right?
This is what we need to do. We need to silence all the negative people
Absolutely.
by making our voice louder, because
That's our goal.
I feel like the negative people, you start listening. One minor event happens and it gets blown out of proportion, and then people start listening to those events.
Now, we can be pretty loud, right, Matt?
But if we can be loud and flood
Yes.
the positive things that are going on, we can kill the negatives, and maybe they'll list their property with Matt and they'll leave.
There you go. That's the goal. That is the goal for sure.
So let's get into the news and events. I know that
news and
there's
events.
A
We're
going to
fire it off.
Up.
We do want to tell people that we are we're not going to be on this Thursday. We got some stuff going on, so we'll throw up a
Here's what
repeat
I'm
show.
going to do
Or
for
what do you wanna do?
Thursday.
Okay.
I was at Alt House Arboretum last
Mm-hmm.
night to interview the folks from Alt House Arboretum. We interviewed 2 high school volunteers and Ken, the founder of Green Allies.
Oh, great.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that episode
Mm-hmm.
of the cast at Glocker up for our Porchcast episode.
That's great, because we've been talking about Alt House Arboretum for a long time now, and
Right.
they've got their recycling event coming up on Saturday.
Yep.
So that's great.
And
Okay.
we talked a little bit about the Edgewood event and about how you could do both of those things in combination. So
Great.
the Thursday oh my God, the Thursday Porchcast Pottstown show will be a rerun of the Cast at Glocker.
Of the Wednesday Cast at
Yeah,
Glocker
with the
show,
little
which was recorded on Monday.
Yeah.
I love it. So this weekend, lots of stuff coming up. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, because all this stuff is going to be over.
Oh, there's more stuff coming up.
Yeah, so
in
the
May.
Appliance and Metal Recycling Day at Alt House is on Saturday from 9 to 1.
That's at Pottsgrove Middle
at
School.
Pottsgrove Middle School. The Edgewood Cemetery event, everybody should know this by now. We've been talking about it forever. That's on Saturday the 10th from 9 to 1. 9 to noon, 9 to 1. Go down, check out. They have amazing artists and help clean up. Let's see. The Land Bank virtual meeting is tomorrow, Wednesday, April 7th from 12 to 1. You can find that information on the Mosaic Community Land Trust Facebook page or Pottstown Housing Coalition. So learn about the land bank and how that can help our town. The Selma movie is this Sunday. That is striveinitiative.org. So that's the drive-in at Sunnybrook on Sunday, 6 o'clock. I'm sorry, I don't have the second page. I think it's around 6 or 6:30.
Well, it's got to be once it starts getting dark.
Once it starts getting dark, yeah.
Yeah, because it's drive-in.
Yeah.
I have noticed that Dave Charles has been sharing reminders around about that. I
Great.
got an updated reminder from him. If you're not signed up and you're interested, you can either go to Strive, STRIVE initiative, or you can link up with David Charles
Yes.
on Facebook.
striveinitiative.org.
Yep.
Sunday is the last installment of the Fairness and Educational Funding. Sunday at 4:15. Go to the First Baptist Church of Pottstown website and get the link for that. Find out what you can do to help.
And if you want to know more about fair funding, go to Advocates for Pottstown Schools. You can also connect with Laura Johnson.
Yeah.
Laura Johnson.
Yep.
Or you can go back and watch the 3 or 4 different episodes that we've talked about fair funding,
funding.
on Porchcast.
Yes. Tomorrow, April 7th, the Rotary Club is having their Meet the Pottstown NAACP event. If you are interested in that, contact Nicole Matz or go to the Pottstown Rotary Club Facebook page. They are joining with the NAACP for some things.
Yeah, it looks to me like the
Got
Rotary is going to be joining up with a lot of other organizations around town
Yeah.
in order to help cross promote,
Which
and
is
get
great, because
Rotary
we
is
membership.
awesome. I'm a member as well.
Nick's a member of Rotary.
When I joined, I was one of the younger members, but just kind of what we talk about innovation. You know, in the 6 years, 7 years now I've been a member, it's trended younger, and the older members are happy about that because
course.
the club is going to carry on and they want to hear our ideas. So
Sure.
Rotary is awesome. So if you have this negative energy, you want to turn into positive energy, Rotary is an awesome place to start.
When they do a lot of good stuff, and it's nice to see organizations combining efforts, because Matt and I have talked about this for a lot, about everyone going off in their own direction, and people duplicating efforts, or if they join together, then they can do so much more if they join together than trying to do their own, be in their own silo by themselves.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep. The Ricketts Center is looking for donations for their shower and laundry program. So twice a week, those in need are able to go to the Ricketts Center over on Beach Street to take a shower and do laundry. And so they are specifically in need of donations of deodorant, both men's and women's, shaving cream, men's and women's. Is there a difference? I don't know. Razors and small snack items. So I dropped off some things the other day that I picked up at the grocery store, just a little donation that I brought over. They are there typically from 8 to 5, and you can just go in and drop your stuff off. They'll give you a receipt for your taxes, but help out those folks that need those items so that they can do their laundry and shower. And sometimes that's what they need just to be able to go to a job interview or
get cleaned up.
Yes. I had some information too on vaccination clinic that is going to be starting at Bethel Community Church on Kime Street on Friday. I think you have to register through the county for that program. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll put some information up on my page.
Well, in the meantime, I'll throw this out here.
Yeah.
Laura McCloskey and also Nicole Vickers-Matz are saying that if you would like to be a guest at a Rotary meeting, get in contact with them. They can bring guests to Rotary, and if you're interested in seeing what goes on at Rotary or want to attend a meeting, hook up with either Laura or Nicole through Facebook. I've been to several Rotary meetings. Rotary's pretty well represented on Porchcast.
Yeah.
Contributors to society.
Yep. So that COVID vaccine clinic at the Bethel Community Church, they are looking for volunteers, and also it is going to be a county clinic site. So you can go to the Montco, PA page and find that information there. I'm sorry I don't have it readily available. I was literally like sliding in.
No, you came in like literally as I was getting.
So thank you to Levi for getting everything set up and keeping the seat warm. He was even
going to start testing the mic. He might have been stand-in host.
I
for
know.
a couple
I think
minutes.
he was a little upset.
I think he was too. Yeah, you know what? That is true. That the women's razors and the men's razors are the same razors. They just charge more for the women's razors.
Yes.
When I was
and they're pink
yes,
as opposed to blue or
when
whatever.
I was married, my supply of razors went down because my wife would always borrow my razors.
Yeah.
Because hers were more expensive.
Right.
So just buy the men's razors.
Right. I just got the basic Bic yellow with the white hand. Like that's.
They work fine.
Right. So. Yes. All right. That was an abbreviated, and I don't. I have to give an eco tip. Is there time for me to give my eco tip? Amy's
there's
eco
still
tips.
plenty of people watching.
Okay,
so yes.
hold on.
You got it. We are going to be.
I decided that during April, since it's Earth Month, Earth Day is on April 22nd. Don't treat dirt like dirt. That I would give every day, every time that we're on the air. I'm going to give an eco tip, and the easiest eco tip is replace your paper napkins with cloth napkins. These are cloth napkins that I bought at our synagogue rummage sale for like 5 cents a piece. I had 1 billion of them. I've given half a billion away. Harrison has some at college. I gave a whole stack to Paul and Scott because I was getting on their case about using paper napkins. So this is literally the easiest thing you can do. Replace your paper napkins with cloth napkins. I have not bought cloth napkins in 3 years.
You mean paper napkins?
I have not bought paper napkins in 3 years. This is what I use. Take a new one every day, use it for breakfast, use it for dinner, throw it in the basket, and wash it.
Eco.
You can save so much money. It takes a lot of water to create paper products. We talked about this last week with the paper, with toilet paper. You can save a lot of water from the creation of paper napkins by using cloth. That's my eco tip of the day. That's it.
It looks like we're being invited to the Rotary dinner on June 2nd.
Yes. So Nicole was messaging us
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. Thank you, Nicole.
Okay.
Great.
See you then.
Wonderful. I'll be all I'll be all vaccinated. So
And Nicole's coming on the show in May
yes,
prior to as a ramp up to their business to business mixer.
yes, May 13th. I think is the date.
Mhm. And then off air, I have another idea for how we can team up with Rotary for a local fundraiser.
Okay, cool.
So I talked to Brooke Martin yesterday or today. My days are starting to run together again. Now it's because I'm so busy. Before they ran together because I didn't have anything to do. Now I got so much stuff to do, they're starting to run together.
Right.
I talked to Brooke either today or yesterday about teaming up with Porchcast and Rotary teaming up for a local fundraiser. So I'll connect with Nicole Vickers.
Well, I'm
Matz
already
on
going to
that,
have
too.
my hand in people's pockets coming up pretty soon. So
Yeah, you'll be able to divorce yourself
Yeah.
from this one
Okay.
for the go forth.
Okay.
We'll give you a hall pass since you're going to be planning like the biggest festival in Pottstown.
yes,
You'll-
announcements coming soon. I promise, folks. Lots of logistics to get in order.
So is that your eco tip for
That
the
was
day?
my eco tip. I was a little abbreviated because we ran out of time, but
Yeah.
I'll get plenty more to talk about next week.
All right. Next week, we'll be back on the air with more live episodes and with more guests. I'm going fishing with my friend Mark Breyer. So Thursday show will be, like I said, Thursday show will be our Alt House Arboretum interview. Jeff Frederick and I interviewing those folks for the cast at Glocker. Don't forget, folks, tune in every Tuesday and Thursday at 5-ish for Porchcast Pottstown. If you want to be on the show, just ask us. We like having businesses and nonprofits talk about all the positive things that are going on in Pottstown. Today's guest has been Nick Yannessa from Wheels in Motion, 525 East High Street, one-stop shopping for all of your car care and car repair needs. Thanks for coming in, Nick.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Great
Eddie
to
Matt
meet
as
you.
an announcer, he did that pretty good.
Thank you.
He's only been doing it for a year.
A year. Yeah. I am Matt Green. I am your local real estate expert. Please call me when you need help buying and selling residential and commercial real estate in Pottstown and the surrounding area. Amy Wolf is the lady boss, the host of Porchcast Pottstown. She's also the office manager at Wolf Baldwin and Associates, bringing you fine legal service in the borough of Pottstown since 1973. Levi Wolf is your workman's compensation expert,
Certified specialist
certified by the Supreme Court.
of Pennsylvania.
Thanks for tuning in to Porchcast Pottstown. We will see you next week with live episodes on Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in, folks.